Draft hasn't begun. Let's spin around from the roof here and dive into it.
And yeah, the only thing that that could tear me away from a cinematic like that is an actual game of League of Legends.
Yes,
I'm very happy.
Too. I was quite enthralled.
Goosebumps
every time. Yeah.
Every time, especially because we're here with the headsets.
Why does Tryndamere look a bit like Sean Bean?
Well, I imagine phonetically it makes sense.
I know, because it's like kind of dying.
Yeah, they die all the time. Yeah, except
Yeah.
Tryndamere doesn't if you're doing well.
But he does look a lot like him. Next time you watch the cinematic, please see whether you can see it as well. What I can see is some bans, Chronicler. They have come through. We have a Cassante and a Felios and an Udyr ban. The Felios is standing out. We also have an Ashe and a Renata taken away from Keria.
And the Renata is, of course, an incredibly strong pick, but I do think we have already been shown by none other than KT that there are, in fact, tools to deal with this.
Indeed.
At the same time, if you're Kwangdong, do you really want to put Taeyeon and Andil into a skill matchup against what, without a shadow of a doubt, will be Renata and Kalista? Probably not. It's going to be Lucian, most likely, and Milio should be the pick away here from Kwangdong, but because of the preemptive ban on the Aphelios, not going to be the opportunity for the Kwangdong Freaks to immediately go towards a really strong hyper carry combo. Can go for Varus if that is picked, and they do go for Kaza Sejuani, which is of course one of his comfort picks. Must mean the Milio will come through here for Keria. Because going back to one of his comfort picks, Sejuani not necessarily in a top tier position right now, but Kuz has been able to make some miracles happen. And we do know Dudu loves his Jax.
Oh yeah.
What they're looking towards.
Not to, and also we can't forget the fact that Bulldog is pretty good at some of these more melee-focused champions in the mid lane as well. Can be quite aggressive there. So looking to see whether there's going to be some of that permafrost synergy being picked up. The Milio, no surprise, will Faker just collect an Azir. Would make a fair bit of sense. You could also lock away a jungler here to make sure that Oner has as much comfort as possible with the Sejuani face-up. Does make some sense, but we'll see what they do have in mind. Right now, the camera is expecting a Faker pickup, and that's a Corki. Not going to be banned this time around. Was banned a whole lot in our first series, but going to decide against it. Looks like some orbs are going to be necessary here as he waits until the very last second. And then the Lulu, the consideration, has often been picked into this Milio.
And Lulu is both great with the on-it variety of Varus and actually has a decent matchup into the Lucian. Lucian dashing in can actually punish him to a certain extent. The Orianna, not as, I'd say, versatile as the Azir, but still an incredibly strong pick. Very high on the ban list as well. Still has a 100% presence, if I'm not mistaken, unless it changed in the last series. So not too shocking that we're seeing the priority on that to be quite high. Now Rumble taken away here from Zeus, definitely one of his best picks. We did see the Aatrox earlier today, pulled out by Doran. Could be something. Zeus obviously quite adept at the champion. Not necessarily in the best of spots, but I want to mind something that can help this Orianna, either from Oner or from Zeus, to really get a good ball delivery system. And Jarvan is the one that I'd look towards, just because of the fact that Jarvan feels great against the Varus specifically. Lulu makes it a little bit worse, but still two stationary characters against the Cataclysm. And the fact that Oner played a hella clean game against Genji, wouldn't be surprised to see them going towards that.
No, I wouldn't be surprised either. I actually think that the Rumble ban might have been a little bit of a mistake. Like, we know that Nocturne very strong at the moment, but that Jarvan, he was very, very good on it and fits the composition so beautifully. The Cataclysm Shockwave combo, very dangerous. So the Azir going to be taken away from Bulldog. We'll see what he is going to be picking up here. Few options as far as things that they could grab. We'll see where he is going to go. Could, of course, be a Dudu pick, but I expect that that is going to be... Oh, never mind. Oh. Okay, the Aatrox going to be picked up.
Oh, they're cooking something. There's no way otherwise that they would go for...
Mid-Sejuani?
You know, if Bulldog pulls it out, I'm curious to see what'll happen. The other pick that could happen here is a Xerath, which is, you know, something that we have seen Bulldog go towards, but into the Ori, I don't know if you're going to feel as good as you would into the Aziras. Unfortunately for junglers around the world, look like we might have some fun as, yeah, this should not come as a surprise to anyone that watched Worlds. Zeus is an incredible Yone, one of the best we have in the LCK. Loves to pick it out against the Aatrox. Basically gets through lane unscathed and then becomes an unmanageable threat in the side lane. And, very importantly, also a big threat for Taeum down the line as we close it out with a great ball delivery system in addition to the Yone, which is Oner's Rel, which had one of the best plays as Bulldog pulling out the way, unless we go for some crazy Lulu mid, but I expect it to be our second or third appearance, I guess, of Wei, played twice by Barrel in a support role, but now in mid.
Looking forward to seeing what Bulldog's going to be able to pull out here. I've seen a few of those videos saying, oh my god, how did he do this much damage on Hui? I think half of them are Chovy videos of him just sort of popping off in solo queue. We know that Bulldog has some pretty incredible hands. And after seeing what Beryl was capable of doing on the Hui, I imagine that Bulldog might have something special planned for us. And against an Orianna, not going to have as much of that threat when it comes to really displacing you, right? Like an Azir would, like some of these other picks would. And Hui can be somewhat susceptible because you can run fast, but you don't necessarily have a dash to get out of the way of things. So looking forward to seeing what Bulldog's going to be able to come up with in this mid lane.
And I'm really excited to see Hui. I really feel like the character also fits Bulldog, because as you mentioned, he's a very versatile player, plays a lot of stuff, and the range that he has can be a problem for Orianna. We'll see how it's piloted though. The jungle matchup to me is the big thing here. Rel is really good. All the lanes have a ton of damage, and Oner can provide the necessary setup. And for Cuz, it's really only going to be top lane that he can play towards with that permafrost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But still, the Glacial Prison going to be very, very dangerous. Let's jump into the Rift here for game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right. Respect Kwangdong fans. They are out in force, or at least they have loud voices. That was louder than I was expecting, especially when it is versus T1. And we are on the T1 side. Oh no, we're on the Kwangdong Freak side. So maybe it was a little bit...
I think this always happens.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit enhanced. But still, very impressed. Often it is a little bit drowned out by the fandom of T1. As already, first damage going to T1. Faker going to be doing that with his orb. And we were talking about, you know, ball delivery system and things like that. Yone is pretty good at it, but I think Rel might just be the best shockwave setup in the game. What do you think?
Well, that's a tough one. I would go for Rel for if the combo works. I think Jarvan, to me, is still one of my favorites just because of the speed with which he engages.
Yeah, true.
Zek's another one. Which obviously is on.
What about Nocturne if you can deliver the ball as he's flying by?
Yeah, I love that one.
That's my favorite, but it is a little bit...
Thematically also very cool. As we do see, I'm a big fan of going for the scaling runes on Hui, but Bulldog instead going for absolute focus and Scorch, so really trying to play for the lane, which shouldn't be a surprise given how we know Kwangdong ideally likes to play. And I think that is something that to me is really interesting with this team, is that despite them being 10th, they have had a very clear vision in how they want to play out their games. Obviously courtesy of their coach, CV Max, and actually delivering on that hasn't always been the case. And we'll see if this split is any different. Also, as mentioned, Taeyeon with the Lulu, as expected, opted into the lethal tempo variant of the Varus, also has the barrier available, and actually doing a good job here in the early lane, as they should with this Varus-Lulu combination.
Yeah, we haven't necessarily seen the Lucian be super successful so far, and we'll just see whether Gumayusi Keria can change our minds and really allow us to understand why the priority is so incredibly high on this champion when the win rate isn't necessarily reflecting that level of priority. Making his way over, you can see Bulldog already down relatively low as Cuz doesn't know. He just does not.
The Rel steal.
And yeah, it's just gone. Oner going to steal that one away. And Cuz going to let his team know that that is not a position where you want to be. Bulldog also going to be hit by the dissonance here as Oner. He has the flash and he decides that he's not going to use it. Just going to get it from Bulldog and move away. Very successful from the jungle already.
And that's a really big mistake from Bulldog because that's a known factor. You knew Oner rather was on that side of the map. Cuz getting caught off guard, that's one thing. Well done by Oner, solid invade, but Bulldog forced to flash and use his teleport because he's too low is going to be a really costly error for the mid laner of Guangdong, and a big win for T1. Oner, at least from the get-go, setting up a ton of pressure here in this lane already. I'm also going to be looking towards Guma's itemization, because my guess is that we're going to see him again go for the support item as the heal is used.
Yeah, this is a lot already invested towards this bottom side, as you can see. Cuz lurking was outside of vision.
Yeah, they don't know. Is there an angle, though?
It's
no,
not.
on Keria.
He has cancelled one of his backs. And Gumayusi very low on that mana, like we were talking about. Does have barrier and flash both available. Getting those cooldowns definitely important, as Bulldog without flash, very susceptible. This could be good gank from Oner, but he's not going to go in. Doesn't want to give away his position. Okay, there it is. And the E is down, and now Bulldog is just dead. There's first blood, and it goes to Faker.
Really good timing window there from T1, because there was Bulldog used his E on the wave, meaning he doesn't have access to his CC skills, and he also was still waiting for his W to come back up. I think he used the I forgot which combination is exactly.
Crushing more.
Yeah, no, it's WE, the one that gives you the extra mana on attack and extra damage.
Yep.
And
the
then,
pool of reflection.
Yeah, and
I've got the cheat sheet.
Yeah, I was about to say. But because of that, don't actually have the shield available. Both the shield and the speed up might have gotten out of that situation. And Oner, it's really good read here, using the fact that his opponent doesn't actually have the flash available, forced it out earlier. And right now, T1 building up a solid lead.
Zeus just going to ult in. Does pick up another turret shot and takes that one away. Duda going to survive on about 120 health after all is said and done. It's not the end of the world or anything like that right now for the Guangdong Freaks, but it's a great start here for T1 and a snowball opportunity. This is something that Guangdong already spoke about, is the fact that T1 are scariest when they can get that snowball rolling, and it is beginning to do so. Watching Bulldog as well, he's playing nervously even when he's just farming. Has missed a few CS just from, you know, unforced error as well. So hopefully he can sort of get himself together, and this is really rough. There we go, the crash down, and Bulldog is just going to get clockwork wind up to death. Faker finds him with the edge of the shockwave, and that is the end.
Yeah, Rice Smile. It's not that much that he can do after the early summoner is forced. Really nicely done by T1, continuously putting pressure. Second time in a row that we see this, a mid laner really being bullied very heavily, and now Faker already sitting on 2-0. Also do note Guma did indeed go for the double support item.
Yep.
So we'll be seeing him go towards Bloodsong. I do expect him to actually finish it, unlike what we saw from Viper, who
it was very strange
early.
I don't know why he sold it, but I guess that'll just remain a mystery. Guangdong Freaks are going to be able to grab the first break of the game. It's going to be an Infernal. See what the next one is going to be. See what our soul options are as Taeun. Oh dear, this could be a flash over the wall, and there it is. Cuz is going to be able to secure the Drake, and Oner is just getting flashes left, right, and center.
Faker doesn't have his flash, did use it defensively, but in the 2v2, I don't know how good Guangdong are going to be feeling. They do spot Oner, so maybe Cuz wants to do a delayed wraparound. Don't think that, yeah, they're never going to see this coming.
Yeah, Cuz actually
Oner
just
goes
trying
back.
to move out. Information being gained is now, like you were talking about, Faker flashless, but is just going to be able to control Cuz a little bit here.
And this goes back to the early steal that was found. If Cuz is actually level 6 there, well, he isn't that close yet. We see as well Oner actually sitting on the 5.5 as well, so I imagine Cuz is pretty close to that same amount of XP. But these are the type of moments where an early blue buff could have made a big difference, right? Maybe Cuz is able to get to 6, then I think he would have flashed for the play there. But especially knowing that Oner is in the area, trying to force on a full health Faker. Not going to work his on deal.
Yeah, going to get polymorphed, but now he's out. We're going to get some more damage down. Good fire kick there from Keria just to get Taeun out of here. Good trade for T1. As ulti comes through from Bulldog, a little bit of damage onto Faker there, but just trying to deter Faker from really playing with impunity in that mid lane. It's not quite working out just yet, as Gumayusi with the culling throws it onto Taeun. He moves behind the minions to try and mitigate it. It does work out somewhat. Now some of these autos coming in. Goes a campfire, Keria just keeping Gumayusi safe. And it's even in farm, but it's not going to be even in gold. Not even a little bit, because these double support items, the World Atlases, just really printing money here for the T1 bottom lane.
And you could see there as well, I think Guangdong's bot lane were really looking for an all-in window, but they weren't really given one by T1 unless they really wanted to hard commit, as this is the third time we've seen Cuz look for a play and be greeted by a control ward. Not going to be able to get anything done, and this lead is building and building. They cannot lose. Very cleanly done, right? Bulldog hesitates for a second there, but I think with the flash, Faker was always going to find him. And that is the second kill, meaning that Faker already gets to invest in Mercs, which is going to be really good against Guangdong's team.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough, and it does kind of illustrate a few of the things that we were talking about when adjudicating Hui earlier on, because you're just a bit susceptible when it comes to ganks and things like that. Damage potential, definitely very high. Lots of utility because you have like 4 million extra buttons compared to any other champion. So you can do a lot of different things depending on what the moment calls for. But unfortunately, none of those options are dash out of the way of person coming to kill you. There is run out of the way of person coming to kill you. There's use a chompy thing, and there is fear, and there is get some extra vision and stuff like that. But none of it is dash away from them. And that's a little bit of a shame as Oner moving on in, because just going to arctically assault away, and Oner Freaks will be all right for the moment.
And that's where some of the worries, I think, for Guangdong really set in, because it feels like they're taking this game pretty slow, which, you know, laning phase isn't going that well, so it makes sense. But scaling to what is my question, because I don't think that a lot of these matchups are necessarily going to be better. You do have a great amount of power with Taeyun and Bulldog, but actually getting the most out of that, I think, is going to be hard. It's not like the T1 composition scales poorly, right? We have, sure, Lucian isn't as great in isolation, I think, but for Taeyun, actually dealing damage as on-hit Varus, I think, is going to be very hard in this game. There's so much backline dive and ways to get this ball towards Bulldog and Taeyun. So the execution for Guangdong needs to be extremely crisp, and right now, not really seeing it.
No. Does manage to land the crushing maul. That's pretty nice there from Bulldog. But otherwise, Faker able to ignore it for the most part. 26 CS in the lead, a very similar story on the top side of the map. This wave comes towards Zeus. He is relatively low. Oner in the vicinity. Cuz will know exactly what's going on here as Oner is moving in and out of the Guangdong Freaks' vision. And there it is. Flash has to be used, but is used, and used very well here by Zeus to make sure that he is not dying. Cuz the drive-by continuing. Winter's Wrath going to slow down the pursuit of Oner as another combo comes in from Bulldog. Not able to find the full thing though onto Faker.
Yeah, old Zeus there was looking for a kill opportunity, but not going to find it. Maybe with the slow, thinking he has the burst. Not going to be the case just yet. And this is what we're talking about. Obviously, Faker is monstrously far ahead. That is to be expected, but the real story for me is look at Guma and Keria. That is not a normal gold lead, given the current state of the game. I don't think they were able, maybe they were able to pick up like a single plate, but this really is all the gold being generated by those double support items. Picked up one plate, very close to 2, but already such a big lead for T1. And for Guangdong, we're going to need to see a win somewhere. You know, maybe trying to take down Faker, that would be really big, pick up the bounty. They do have the one dragon, which will buy them some time towards a certain winning condition for T1. And maybe with some help from the Kevins, we can see them do a little bit of damage to turrets, but they need a win.
Kev, Bob, and Steve got 1 each on each side. So 3 grubs picked up for T1 and 3 for Guangdong Freaks. That is certainly good news. Going to aid them in their destruction of the turrets. Going to be a Mountain Soul this game. That's a bit of fun. Faker, Man Protect, pretty strong here as World Ender comes forward. Dudu does his best to stop Zeus from being able to get too far away, and in fact, Zeus kind of winning out on these trades. As Undil and Taeyun continuing to have a rough time underneath this outer turret in the bottom lane. Cuz trying to clear out some vision where he can. Zeus coming on over to spot out what's going on here and does notice that, the Gromp is not there, so knows that he'll have to play a little bit more carefully. No ult, no flash. And not a lot of options as he moves towards possible demise. It is going to be an ult going into the wind, though, as a teleport is coming in down towards the bottom side. Faker turns up. That's going to be another kill for the GOAT of the mid lane. Not going to augment it with a fourth. That's going to go to Gumayusi. 4-0 here for T1.
And the moment that they realize that Cuz is towards the top side, it looks initially like Faker is moving towards top to try and salvage a play there, keep Zeus safe, but instead opts to teleport down towards the bot lane. Cuz also starting off your combo with an ultimate against a player like Zeus. Can't really expect that to work out as Faker sidesteps Bulldog skills.
Yeah, how many options do you have here really, as in he goes and out he goes once again. Zeus just going to come and collect the kill, and Bulldog finds himself 0-3-0.
And it's a 6k gold lead at 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of the lessons that I think were learned by Kwangdong unfortunately have been unlearned. As mentioned, against Zeus, I don't think you can ever expect that ultimate to hit. Maybe was trying to predict and try and get Zeus to commit something and then still be able to take him down. But not going to be the case. And as you see, Fake already halfway towards his opponents. Doesn't matter. Instead identifies that he can help out here towards the bot side. Barely even necessary, but the damage ensures that the play works out. And then Bulldog here feeling safe because he has Cuz close by, but moment Zeus spot, I think he knows he is very much dead, doesn't use his flash, and I don't think it would have made a big difference.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that he didn't invest that one, as we saw picture-in-picture that Kwangdong Freak's getting a little bit frisky here around the Rift Herald. Andal and Taehoon just holding down this mid lane as best they can. And Bulldog moving towards the bottom lane. There was no one there, allowing him to get a little bit of farm back, but as you can see, he is super far behind. It's not really what you want. 35 CS deficit in that mid lane. And Oner, putting his head in, is going to go for a flash. Magnus Storm connects it onto Taehoon in the end as the fire kick comes out from Keria. Gumayusi going to get crushed, but there's just no damage here from Bulldog as Zeus, he's turning up now, gets the flash out with the ulti, sweeping them up. That is a bit of permafrost, so that Zeus is not going to be able to do too much more. But now Taehoon is in the death chamber because Faker just found him in that raptor pit. Easy pickings here for this very fed Orianna.
Mid lane turret is going to fall, and even though we might not hit the kill them on the, what was it, 20, 25 minutes, 22 minutes for shellacking?
Yeah, 25 minutes, under 25 minutes.
Well, you know what, that we might hit that. Right now, Kwangdong is just losing on the entire bottom half of the map, and all their attention towards the top lane also hasn't netted them anything. They've tried to play towards this Aatrox and Sejuani, but it just isn't enough. Oner with a turn, it is found out. They do respond in time, but as you point out, it just doesn't matter. There's no damage available here. Keria is able to keep everyone alive, and by the time Zeus arrives, they know that there is no way that this play is ever going to work out. Faker is 4 levels up.
Yeah.
And Taehoon is like, I'm in the camp. I can dodge it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a raptor. Please ignore me. As Taehoon, oh my goodness, he's exploding. All right. Well, Gumayusi is going to send him his regards and send him back home.
Oh,
by the looks of things.
Didn't have to do him like that.
Oh,
He's
wow.
10 stacks Magi's.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got too many things that you need to write down. You're gonna have to buy yourself a diary, and that's what Faker's diary looks like here today. And it's only going to have potentially more Kwangdong Freak's bloodshed in it if this game continues the direction that it is going. 7,000 gold, approximately the lead here.
That's a win, right there.
Oh yeah, Cuz taking himself a Rift Scuttler. There we go. Zeus wanting to get back towards this turret, and Taehoon once again taking a huge combo here as the culling comes in, while Growth comes out, Chains of Corruption goes wide, and Gumayusi wants to find it, but Taehoon standing his ground. Oh, Andal, unfortunate. Nice little target change there from Gumayusi to get that kill, and now Oner is cantering towards the Varus, and he does avoid some stuff, but the Magnus Storm comes down. Oh, never mind. Sometimes you just get aftershocked, you know?
Oh, Taehoon giggling as well.
Okay, ulti gonna get him out of there as teleports coming in. Teleports from everywhere, actually, as Faker's going to flash. Ult comes through from Bulldog there as well as the flash forward from Dudu. Pulled back by the Infernal Chains, 900 gold goes to Cuz as Zeus is dashing forward. Not sure about that one, not dead for a little while. Actually manages to take down 2. Never you mind, he is a monster, it's a triple kill.
Then Kwangdong is like, Hail Mary play, let's give it a go. And Zeus looks at them and says, no, that was a 1v3. Man,
that looked like he was just definitely dead, and then he was very rich.
and yeah, we're at the point where T1 is monstrously far ahead, and they're like, what if we just styled on them? And
Yeah.
it's working. As we see here, the gold lead is quite large. Andil ends up going down. Gumayusi does so much burst damage with the Blood Song. He'll take Cycle Sword done as well. Taeyun, even with Bone Blading, even with some happy feet, it's the aftershock that gets him.
The good old aftershock kill.
And I think you can see on Kwangdong's faces as well. After every death, they kind of giggle because they scrimp T1 a lot. So they must have known that this was coming. But this play, to me, is kind of mind-boggling because they do actually find Faker there able to land the root. And even with the ultimate, they're able to burst him down. Actually, the Infernal Change from Dudu coming up huge there. But then...
Yeah, we need to see how he managed to do it. Shockwave helping to soften them up. But now, he's very low. Finds the dash forward. That kills the last minion. And now we've got another team fight as Oner is going to be taken down relatively low. It's a decent Chains of Corruption, but there's just no items. There's no damage. There's no options here for the Kwangdong Freaks. And now Gumayusi is chasing down Andil once again. Oh, that's a heavy wallet. Right in the back of the head, Chronicler.
One of these players being as fat as they are would already constitute an unsolvable problem, but it's
everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
It's every single one.
As Bulldog's going to get ulted here by Zeus, whose soul is unbound, and now somewhat pleased as, a little bit of a roundabout there. Keria just going for it, just wants to, okay. Just a bit of a crash into the side of the wall.
He's playing Mario Kart!
He is, and he's going to need Cooper to put him back on the track, I think, as now Kuz diving forward. Gumayusi is going to be taken down, all right. There's a little bit of something here from the Kwangdong Freaks. Wild Growth helping Kuz out there a lot as Faker was in the top lane dealing with this pesky outer turret. It's an 11,000 gold lead, but at least there's a second kill for Kwangdong Freaks.
As far as at least go, Atlas, it's not.
It's not
where you want to be.
It's not my best, I have to admit, yeah.
You're trying, but we're not giving a lot in this game as we take another look at an attempted kill on Oner here from the Kwangdong Freaks. There just isn't enough damage. Especially once Keria and Guma show up, able to do a whole lot. Bulldog, at this point, yeah, can't really try and defend, but should have just stayed underneath his inhibitor turret, I guess. Gets dove by multiple people, just gets blown up.
나 바텀에 박치하러 갈게.
Oh, yeah. He's coming, but he's taken a ride.
갑니다.
He's going for the headbutt. Okay.
끝내버렸는데. 아, 타워 어디 갔어? 안 돼.
Where's the turret? Where's the turret? Where's the turret?
Play Mario Kart, man!
Yeah. He takes his hands off the keyboard and is like, I can't get there. I think he was just having a really good time.
Something that's been said a lot by many of the T1 players were, we just want to have fun. Well, that
looked like fun to me. That looked like fun to me. As Kuz loses half of his health bar, it's not very fun to beat this Sejuani in this game. Was able to help get a kill just before, but the immediate revenge there from Gumayusi does come forward. Inner turret now going to go down. And Kwangdong Freaks, I mean, there's bounty gold on the table here, Chronicler. 3 minutes until shellacking has been avoided, perhaps. Well, I'd probably still call it that.
Even if they don't end, has it really?
Yeah, no. Well, Zeus is now buying a little bit of attention as the Baron is going to be taken down here. Pretty basic Baron this time around. Just the regular one. And yeah,
all right,
there's no chance of doing anything about this.
Let's get ahead of ourselves. POG, is it Oner or is it Faker?
I'm giving it to Keria for the Mario Kart.
Okay, but if we're doing that, then you give it to Zeus for the 1v3.
No, I'm giving it to I mean, Zeus is the correct call, but Keria is the based call.
Red Bull Baron power play. Definitely gonna have an impact on this game.
Oh.
As there they go!
All right, can Zeus get POG right here, right now? He is gonna ult towards Andil. Oh, that's a bit of a cute one, he's dead. Okay, so maybe not. And now Chains of Corruption coming in. Faker, all right, the ulti is going to pop. Another Infernal Chains does a lot of work. He's not dead just yet though. And now Kuz is gonna get stunned up. Taeyeon was thinking about going for a back. He is very, very low. That is true. And Keria, the frontline Milio, he is bloodthirsty. He is dangerous. And Oner has a Magnet Storm. Taeyeon, oh dear. He does have a barrier, uses the shield quite effectively and stays alive for some time. But Gumayusi is going to say no to that one. It's a double kill. Cuz is also dead. And we mentioned wallets before. They are going to once again come crashing down like a stack of bricks on top of Kwangdong Freaks. And T1 are going to follow that to the Nexus, I could assume.
I don't think they are. They're not even pushing mid in here.
Well, maybe not right now, but I think eventually a Nexus will fall this game.
Yeah.
And I think the likelihood of it being a Kwangdong Freaks Nexus is looking high.
This is the type of game that hairbets are built on. That's what I'm thinking. There is.
Oh yeah.
Might be able to just end it on this push. Health bars are semi-low, but with the amount of effective gold available for T1, I don't think that's going to matter a whole lot.
Yeah, if Kwangdong Freaks win this game, I will grow out my hair and make only pigtails on each side. Just pigtails.
Can we make them
like
blonde?
I'll have a circle of hair
can we make them
on
blonde?
each side. Can you make them blonde?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whatever color you like. I'd prefer pink.
Okay, there you go. Pink pigtails.
Just think like the, you know, like the gnomes from World of Warcraft, the pigtail option.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's what I want to look like. That's my bet. So we'll see whether Kwangdong Freaks can bring that to us, but it's not looking good as T1 close in on the inhibitor turret towards the top side of the map. Ji-Sun gave me a lot of question marks in the teleprompter, just to let you guys know. So she is really confused about what this hairbet even means. Is now Taeyeon. He's getting taken down extraordinarily low. Cuz now 50%. Zeus is right in towards the back line, and a wild growth means nothing to this Yone. He will still cut you down where you stand. Good flash there from Cuz. Feels like a delaying of the inevitable. And I don't know whether the pigtails are going to be a reality, Chronicler. It's a little bit unfortunate. As Kwangdong Freaks, one last opportunity for defense. Flash forward there from Zeus. So much damage from this Yone. Magnet Storm is fantastic, but a fountain is still somewhat dangerous. Gumayusi not too worried about this whole situation, though. He's got a pocket Milio and a Dream, and he's just feeling invincible. The Nexus is exposed. The flash forward from Gumayusi. So much DPS. This is what the Lucian is first picked for, I guess. And the Nexus will go down. Pop goes the Lucian, but so does the Nexus. T1